As the doors to the grand ballroom of Buckingham Palace swung open, the air shifted. It wasn't the usual buzz of aristocratic conversation, the sound of crystal glasses clinking, or the flutter of silk gowns that drew the attention of everyone present. No, it was the entrance of Princess Katherine, the Princess of Wales, that stopped the clock for a brief but unforgettable moment. She entered the room like a vision of grace, her posture impeccable, her smile radiant, her poise dignified beyond measure. Every eye in the room turned toward her, captivated not just by her ethereal beauty or effortless charm, but by something much more significant: the dazzling girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara she wore perched on her head. For anyone in the royal circle, the sight was electric. The girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, an iconic piece of royal jewellery, was a symbol not just of beauty and tradition, but of deep-rooted power. Passed down through generations of the British monarchy, it was now resting on the head of the Princess of Wales, an unmistakable signal that the future of the monarchy was not just in the hands of King Charles, but was already being claimed by the next generation, William and Katherine. And yet, the murmurs began almost immediately. Whispers cut through the air, barely audible yet potent enough to cause ripples throughout the room. Why would Katherine wear that tiara? Did Queen Camilla approve this? Could this be a sign of things to come? Across the ballroom, Queen Camilla's eyes fixed on Katherine. Her expression remained composed, but there was something in her gaze that suggested a fleeting moment of tension, something barely perceptible yet heavy with meaning. The Queen was not just observing the elegance of her daughter-in-law, but something far more complex, the power play unfolding before her eyes. The tiara Katherine wore wasn't just an accessory, it was an emblem of future authority. It was a quiet, regal declaration, a signal that Katherine, as the wife of Prince William, was not merely a princess, she was one step closer to becoming queen. The question on everyone's mind was this: did Katherine just cross a line? Was this an innocent fashion choice? Or was it a deliberate move, an unspoken challenge to the established order, a claim to the crown itself? Let us dive deeper into the history, the politics, and the power struggles that lie at the heart of this royal mystery. A night cloaked in opulence and tension. The evening had been meticulously planned to showcase Britain's grandeur and the power of the monarchy on the global stage. Diplomats from across the world had gathered in the opulent surroundings of Buckingham Palace for an event that was equal parts celebration and statecraft. The grand ballroom shimmered with gold accents, and the long tables were adorned with the finest crystal chandeliers, their light reflecting off countless glasses of champagne. At first glance, everything appeared flawless, a picture of perfection, as one would expect from a royal gathering. Guests mingled, chatting about trivial matters, their laughter echoing in the vast hall. King Charles III, dressed in full royal regalia, stood with his queen consort, Kamilah, exchanging polite pleasantries with dignitaries. Prince William, resplendent in his ceremonial uniform, was the picture of youthful royalty, and by his side was Katherine, wearing a gown so stunning it seemed to float around her like a cloud of moonlight. But as Katherine stepped forward, all eyes inevitably drifted toward her, not just because of her beauty, but because of the significance of what she wore, the tiara, resting delicately atop her head like a crown destined for a queen. It wasn't just any tiara. It was the girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, one of the most famous and important pieces of jewellery in the royal collection. This was the same tiara that had once belonged to Queen Elizabeth II, a jewel so intricately tied to the monarchy's image that it had been used in official portraits, featured on coins, and immortalized on stamps. Its presence was not merely aesthetic, it was a symbol of the monarchy itself. For Katherine, to wear it was to align herself not just with tradition, but with the monarchy's future. And therein lay the intrigue. The weight of royal jewellery, a tiara's true power. Let's pause for a moment to explore the intricate history of the girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, and understand why it carried such significance. The tiara was created in 1893, an extraordinary gift to Princess Mary of Teck, later Queen Mary, from a group of aristocratic women, led by Lady Eva Greville, who pooled their funds together to craft the piece for the future Queen's wedding. Designed by Frederick and H. R. Childs, two of the most prominent jewelers of the time, the tiara is composed of hundreds of diamonds, each one cut with the utmost precision, set in an intricate scroll pattern that represents the intertwining of British and Irish heritage. Queen Mary, known for her fierce devotion to her family and her country, wore this tiara on countless occasions, often at state banquets and diplomatic events. For her, the tiara was more than a piece of jewelry, it was a symbol of her duty, her power, and her place in the royal family. It was said that when she wore it, she felt a sense of connection, not just to the monarchy, but to the people who supported it. The tiara became so closely associated with her that it eventually, earned its place as one of the most iconic and recognizable pieces of the royal collection. Upon the death of Queen Mary, the tiara passed to Queen Elizabeth II, who affectionately called it Granny's tiara. Elizabeth wore it frequently during her reign, to public events and official portraits, its diamonds sparkling with the quiet elegance of a monarch who had seen decades of change and remained steady at the heart of the empire. The tiara became one of the most enduring symbols of British royal stability, and its association with Elizabeth II made it a timeless emblem of the crown itself. Now, after Elizabeth's death in 2022, the tiara has become more than a historical artifact. It is a battleground for the future of the monarchy. And with Katherine wearing it, she has not only connected herself to the royal legacy, she has also made an undeniable statement about her place in it. A silent power struggle, Kamilah versus Katherine. At this point, the palace was buzzing with speculation. Did Queen Kamilah approve of Katherine wearing the tiara? And more importantly, what did it mean for the future of the monarchy? For years, there has been an unspoken understanding that Queen Kamilah, as the wife of King Charles III, would naturally inherit the most prestigious jewels from Queen Elizabeth II, including the girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. After all, as the new queen consort, Kamilah had the right to wear the most iconic pieces of royal jewelry. But for some reason, Katherine had been chosen to wear it first, even though Kamilah was still the reigning queen. Was this a mistake? Or was this a deliberate move by someone in the palace? The theory that has captivated royal watchers is that Katherine's decision to wear the tiara was a message, one not just to the public, but to the monarchy itself. A way for the Princess of Wales to subtly assert her role as the true heir to the crown, signaling to the world that the monarchy's future is already in safe hands, even if it's still a few years down the line. Was Katherine sending a subtle, unspoken challenge to Camillah's authority as queen? Was she making a statement that she, not Kamilah, would be the one to wear the crown when Charles's reign ends? And if so, how did Kamilah feel about it? The look on the queen consort's face, that brief flicker of recognition, said it all. Perhaps she had known this moment was coming. Perhaps she understood that as Katherine and William's star continued to rise, so too would the expectations placed on them. But to see the tiara, a piece so closely tied to the very symbol of monarchy, worn by Katherine, must have been a shock, even for her. The future of the monarchy, where does this leave us? In the end, Katherine's choice to wear the girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara could have been a quiet, calculated decision. It could have been a signal to the world that the monarchy was shifting, that the future was already here, and that the royal family was ready for the changes to come. Whether this was an innocent act of royal fashion, or a carefully orchestrated power move remains unclear. But one thing is certain, the monarchy will never be the same after that night. In the world of royal jewels, tiaras are far more than just glittering accessories. They are symbols of power, lineage, and legacy. And with Katherine wearing one of the most iconic tiaras in history, she may have just shown us a glimpse of what's to come, a future where the crown shifts hands, and the monarchy enters a new era. The world is watching, waiting for the next move in this royal drama. If you don't want to miss a single twist in the saga, be sure to subscribe. The story is far from over, and with every royal jewel, every gesture, and every carefully chosen tiara, the fate of the monarchy will be written.